Okay. Hello, very good evening. My name is Dr. Shanbadi. Welcome to Java problem solving. Today's lecture we will basically be solving another string problem, and it's a very common and very cool thing. Basically, what we need to do now is we need to format the string into a different way. We have been doing few tasks regarding the same approach previously as well. So today, for example, we have a name called Abdul Jabbar Memon. This is a three word string. Okay, Abdul Jabbar Memon. So we need to split each word separately, first of all. Okay, so we have a word 1, word 2, word 3, the first name, middle name, and the last name. And then we need to print the output as the last name comes first, the middle name remains middle, and the last mixed up, right? Okay, so for example, we enter the name, first name, middle name, and surname. These are three words. The output should contain the surname as the first string, as the first word. The middle name remains at the middle, but however it's a comma separated, and your first name now becomes just the capital A, the first letter of your first name, in other words. Okay, so let's very quickly dive into it and do that. So I go into file, create a new project, I go into Java applications, new, and I name it, for example, name formatter. Okay, click on finish. I think I have not done that app right. Okay, it will go into it, create the system very quickly, and this is something that we have been doing previously as well. So I go into name formatter, right click, new, and I create a JFrame, and I just say for example, name formatter GUI. That's more convenient for me, and I click on finish, and that should do the trick. So I create a label, and the label goes at the center, right click, edit text, and the text is supposed to be, for example, name formatter. Okay, formatter, formatter. Okay, that's the name we've been giving it. We go into the font, the properties of this thing, we go with bold, for example 18, click OK. The color, we need to change the color, so for example this time I go for the blue, and then you can scroll through. These are all different properties that you can change for this particular GUI component. Okay, then I create a JLabel, very quickly come here, right click, edit text, give it for example name, and then another label I create here, and right click, edit text, for example formatted name, right? And I think this didn't work, right click, why? Name. Okay, or in other words, enter name. Then we go into the text fields, and I create a text field here, and I just increase the size, and then I create another text field here that should contain the final output. This is where we go, and we create a button, and this is where my button goes at the center of an app. Right click, edit text, format format name. Okay, and this is where enter name goes. Okay, go back to design, I don't want to click it, right click, edit text, delete, right click, edit text, delete. Now I'm deleting it so that when the application runs, it just appears blank. So this is enter name formatted name. This is the output. This is where the system is going to present the output. So what I can do is I can go into its properties, and I can say for example drag, enable, location, color, focusable, yes, but I don't want it to be editable. So scroll, edit text, selection text. Where is the option called editable text? They used to contain something like that. I think we did that in previous text as well. Enable, is it in enable? Yes, this is enable, right? So there's an option called enabled. What this means that user is able to use, edit, modify, select it, and do whatever text here. But if I decheck it, now it's not enabled. It appears as though it's a disabled text field. You're not able to edit it, you will not be able to select it, just for output purpose. Perfect for our use. Okay, so this is something that we do in order to present an output on certain components. I just disabled it. Okay? So the text field would be there, but it will be disabled. User will not be able to enter the text. So we have our GUI created. Right click, change variable name. Again, this is something that we do. If it's a button, I use a button, for example format format. Click OK. If it's a text field, right click, change variable name. I use txt, so I know. And for example, I use format f name, right? F capital NAME name. So now I know f name is the formatted name, and right click, change variable name, txt, NAME name is my name. Okay, so text field, I've named everything. Now I go back into button, right click, events, and I go into mouse click event. So events we have already talked about in previous videos. If you're not understanding what I'm doing, if I'm doing too quickly, do watch my previous videos. Java string, there are 5-6 already uploaded. They do exactly the same thing. We have not done anything different here. They will tell you how I've done all the NetBeans things. So now is string name is equal to, I go into txt name name. This is my name of my component. So I use txt name dot get text. This will return whatever text user will enter in that string box. So whatever text we have entered there, I will read that text and save it into my name variable. Then I need to format that variable. So I create 3 variables, for example, string first f name, I guess, f name, and what happened here is string m name and string l name. All right, that should do understandably. First name, middle name, and last name. All right, understandably. Now what we need to do is we need to extract the first name, the middle name, and the surname from within the string, and this is supposed to be entered as this way. So user enters his full name, I extract the first name, the middle name, and the surname. In order to do that, we come here, we use the name variable dot substring, okay, and then I start from 0, comma, and then I need to find the index of the space, first space. So I use integer space 1 is equal to name dot index of. Now index of method we have again been using previously as well. Okay, what index of does, it goes into the string and searches for a particular character. In my case, that's a space, so I need to find the index of a space. Okay, so I just use this. So space 1 would contain that. Now space space 2, basically, sorry, no spaces between surnames. Space 2, name dot index of, again the same method, bracket, I need to find the space again. However, this time I need to find the second end space. So first space is the first space, the second space is the second space, in other words, but we need to have the index of both values. Now I need to tell my system, start looking for the space first time from the 0. So we gave it that thing, space, okay, and there is no starting value. If there is no starting value, Java would automatically use start search from the 0 index. Okay, so it will start from 0 index. That's the starting value. Next time I need to find the space. However, this time I want to find after the first space was found. Again, that is quite tricky, or that's quite essential to understand. Not so tricky. We need to find the index of spaces so we can extract our characters or tokens separately. So what we do is we use the spacer as a hard limiter and we extract the strings string. So what I do is I use the space. However, this time I use space 1 plus 1 semicolon. What this means that we first time we found this index of space 1. The second space we need to find. However, this needs to be found after the space 1 was found. So after the space 1 was found. So after this you find the space 1, go after it. So for an after we use plus 1 because this index is inclusive. If you don't use plus 1, it means start from here. If you start from here, it will just return here. Means I have a space 1 at space 1, right? Space 1 is found at 0 index. It will return the index of space 1. We need to go wherever the space 1 we have found it. That's perfect, good. Now after this space, go to the next. So we need to increment that variable. Space 1 plus 1 will means go after it. Thus we get these two variables. Why is giving me error here? Name. Okay. Once you do that, perfect. Now we have the spaces found, which we now will be going to use in my substring method. Okay, so we come back here and then we insert that substring, start from 0 and go to space, sorry, space, space, hang on, what's going on? Okay, space 1. Okay, well, this will basically mean that now it will go from a 0 index and it will end up at space 1 and it will search with that. Okay, again, remember space 1, this is the starting index and this is the ending index. The ending index is basically exclusive number. By exclusive means that it will not include this number, it will be less than that. So we don't have to worry about that. Then let's come into the next thing, middle name. Middle name is equal to again name dot substring. That should do the trick. This time the middle name would start from space 1, comma, and space 2. So what basically we are trying to do here is that we're trying to tell the system that go into this character, this is string, this is space 1, space 2. So in order to extract the middle name, start from space 1 and until space 2. Now the only thing that you have to be careful about that space 1 is an inclusive number, meaning that it will start from this particular index. it will start from this index up till that index. So it will be less than this, so we don't have to worry about this ending index, but the starting index will contain a space. You might not want that. It might be a space, it might be a full stop, or don't know, it depends what you're searching. In previous example, we used the date, we used a backslash. So what we did here was that in order to avoid that the system doesn't go and uses this space or starts from this space as an inclusive number, we use space 1 dot plus 1. What this now basically means that space 1, where whatever the index number of a space is, from that point plus 1 means the next space up till space 2 semicolon. Now what will do, it will just give us that middle name. Finally, the last name is easy, and a name dot substring, we have been using that as SPSE space 2. Okay, space 2 is a variable. Now again, space 2, this is the starting index. Starting indexes are inclusive. That means we need to add plus 1, means one character after this space 2. We can leave it here. What this will do, it will start from and go till the end of the string. Okay, the ending number in this case is again, in other words, by default present. But just to be sure, we usually give name dot substring, name dot length, length. Okay, the length is the function that we use in a string that calculates the total length of the characters in a string. So this will give us the total number, which in fact in this case would be the last index number. So we have told it to go start from space 2 and till the total number of characters we have, and basically we have our all three names available to us. Once we do that, now let's just go into text. Formatted name is equal, formatted name dot set text, and we need to specify the string. Now remember, the output was supposed to be that the surname comes first, so we just simply write, for example, last name plus the string starts, and then there's supposed to be a comma after the last name, so we give a comma space, the string ends. But because we're going to connect the next string, again plus is there. Remember, plus in the string is basically used as a concatenation operation. It will join the two strings together. So this L1 is a string, plus means join it with this string. Now this becomes whole one string. Then join this string with plus, which would be, for example, my this middle name, right? So M name is just coming here as it is. Then again plus quotation mark start means that middle name against the string, join this entire string. This becomes one string. Now join this plus with this new string, that would be again space, and the first letter of plus the first letter of my string. Now the first letter of my first name. Okay, so the first letter of my first name is A. In this case, A dot step. Now what we do is f name dot character character at 0 index. That should do the trick. Plus again inverted quotations and then the full stop. Now what this basically means that go into the f name, which is the first name, get the first character in that particular string. So whatever is in the first character, we need to get that. So that is why it was essential that we remove the spaces, because if we don't, it might just give us the space. All right, and then in this way, whatever is on the 0 index would be returned to us. So in our case, and at the moment, it would be, for example, the whatever was A, right? So A would be returned, and then again we need a full stop as a string. So we add a plus and a string. So this is basically how we join multiple string variables within Java by using a plus operator. It concatenates with whatever string you want to give. So if it's a fixed string, you use inverted quotations. If it's a variable, again plus, and that the variable would come in. And then again, yes, we can use function within a function like we did here. So this is a set text function within a function. So it will fetch the value and return the value here. We can store this value in a different variable and print that variable, or you can just use it directly here. What sometimes this does is it helps us in reducing the memory, because if it's no extra variable, then variable won't occupy extra memory. Okay, so let's just run this app and let's see how it goes. And the one or more project contains compile errors. Okay, cancel. How is there an error? Where is there an error? So if I come here, press enter to ensure there's nothing there. Last name, okay, sorry, L is name, N is capital. And if I go back into F and N, this N is again capital. Now I hope the errors are removed. Click compile again, and let's see how the system is coming about. Build successful, no error. And where's the output gone? Oh, it didn't show us any output. Okay, so if I go into format name, that's why, because the public static void main doesn't contain the object of this class. Again, the same mistake we've been doing multiple times. If you're here for the first time, we created another class GUI, which basically contains the entire GUI that does the task for us. But the main class, public static void main, is in a name formatter. So this is where basically we need to create an object. The second thing, if you have been using Mac codes, we can actually copy this page and include it in frame GUI and include public static void main here. That should actually run the code for me. But usually I like to do it in this way. Everybody has their own way. So I'm not going to make my main GUI class as the main method class. So I just give it a GUI is equal to new. I usually like to keep the main method in a separate class. So here, if I need a loading screen or some other task, memory loading, or database connectivity, I can do it in a separate class, not in the main GUI, so it doesn't clutter up the code that much. Okay, depends on how basically you are doing and what you are doing with your program. In our case, that just do the trick. So what we did here, name format formatter. Again, so in order to create the object, the name of the class, the variable name is equals to new operator. This tells the compiler to create a new object of this name formatted class, which is basically calling the constructor, which creates a new object, and so on and so forth. format formatter.java. Once the object is created, now this entire GUI is created, loaded inside the memory. However, it is still not executed. In order to do that, we use this variable and call a method called set visible is equal to true. What this will now go is that will now go and ensure that this GUI that we just created is in fact visible. So if we build the code here and we come here and we try to, so hang on, let me just bring it from the monitor, and here it is. Okay, so we get the name formatter window available to us. So let's just write the name ABGUL Abdul GA Jabbar MEN Mehman, and click on the formatter name, and we get Mehman comma Jabbar A dot. Now remember, this is a disabled text field. We had disabled it in our code. If we go into this, and if you remember, enabled for this text field was unchecked. What this would basically now meaning that my text field is there, I'm getting an output, but it is not selectable. So Mehman dot comma A Jabbar A. So this is what we basically get. So let me just try a different name, Zeeshan AH Ahmedi Ahmed VHATTI, and here we go. Let me do that. Okay, so we got Bati AH MAD. Let me just remove the E, and yeah, there you go. So whatever 3-character name you give, it should do the trick for you. Now this is how basically you format the strings. You can add an error correction in this code as well. Now that would be just very simply by adding if and else condition to ensure that the code is actually as per your requirement. By that we mean that if I go into this class, space one, fname, and I've used this variables, where we go, GUI, this is the format mode button, right? Okay, so we found the index, and if the index is not checked in correctly, we can given if else conditions to validate. Maybe it doesn't have a first name or second name, so we can say that kindly insert your middle name as well, and so on and so forth. So that error conditions can be included as well. Okay, hope you understand this. Please leave your comments below. Any suggestions, anything you don't understand, let me know, and I can re-explain that if I can. Okay, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe this button so you get these videos regularly, and don't hit the bell notification so you get the notification right in your inbox. Thank you very much. See you around. Fi amanillah.